The radio crackled through the chaos. 8 enemies have us pinned. The words tore across the canyon like a flare in the dark. Dust spiraled through the narrow valley as the rangers flattened themselves against shattered rock, their breathing sharp, controlled but fraying. Every movement drew fire, every second felt borrowed. High above them, barely visible against the jagged ridgeline, a lone figure lay motionless. Petty Officer Mara Kincaid adjusted her cheek against the stock of her rifle and slowed her breathing. Inhale, exhale. The world below was noise and urgency. Up here it was wind and distance. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you re-watching from. I love knowing who is listening. Mara had been attached to the Rangers patrol as Overwatch. Some welcomed her, others questioned it quietly. A female SEAL sniper was still a rarity, and rarity made people uneasy. She had learned to live with that. Through her optic, the canyon transformed into geometry angles, movement, elevation shifts. 8 hostiles, scattered along natural cover, firing downward in coordinated bursts. They weren't reckless, they were disciplined. Below, a young ranger named Cole pressed into the dirt, heart hammering. He thought about home in flashes, his mother's kitchen light left on at night. He had never felt so small. Mara saw him hesitate. Her pulse ticked faster, not from fear of the 8 below but from the weight of responsibility. One mistake, and the canyon floor would become a grave. She adjusted her scope a fraction. Wind from the west, slight cross breeze funneling through the rock corridor. Distance, long but manageable. The first shot broke the stalemate. One hostile dropped before he understood the sound. The Rangers felt the shift instantly. Confusion rippled across the opposing side. They searched for the source, but Mara was a shadow among shadows. Second shot, clean. Third, she moved methodically, not hurried. Speed without clarity was chaos, and chaos killed. Below, cold air to lift his head. The gunfire that had once pressed them into stone began to stagger, then fragment. Hope crept in, dangerous, fragile hope. Mara's breathing remained steady, but her mind churned. She did not hate the men in her scope. She had trained long enough to know hatred blurred judgment. They were threats, immediate ones, and her duty was protection. Fourth, fifth, each trigger pull carried consequence. Each one ended a path someone had chosen. For a flicker of a second, doubt brushed her thoughts. 8 lives, 8 stories cut short. Was there another way? Then she heard it, a ranger's pained shout. The doubt hardened into resolve. Sixth, seventh, the final hostile bolted for higher cover, realizing too late that elevation meant nothing when someone higher still was watching. He paused to aim downward. Mara exhaled slowly and squeezed. Silence fell heavy over the canyon. Dust settled in lazy spirals. The echo faded into the vast desert sky. Below, the Rangers stayed frozen for several long seconds, unsure if it was real. Then their team leader spoke carefully into the radio. Overwatch. Confirm. Mara's voice came calm and even, all clear. Cole rolled onto his back, staring at the sky, a shaky laugh escaping him. Around him, hardened soldiers exchanged glances that carried more than relief. They carried understanding. They had been saved by someone they barely saw, someone many had underestimated. Hours later, as the patrol regrouped at base, the story traveled quickly. 8 hostiles neutralized by a single sniper, solo Overwatch. But Mara didn't join the retelling. She sat on the tailgate of a transport vehicle, cleaning her rifle with quiet precision. A senior ranger approached her. He hesitated before speaking. You saved us. She looked up, expression thoughtful rather than triumphant. You would have done the same? He shook his head slightly. Not like that. There it was again, that thin line between admiration and separation, as if what she had done was extraordinary because of who she was, not because of what she trained to do. She met his eyes gently. We all train for the moment we hope never comes. That night, alone in her bunk, the weight finally settled on her shoulders. 8 lives taken, 8 rangers alive. The math was simple, the emotion was not. She allowed herself a quiet breath. Courage wasn't loud, it didn't shout from canyon walls. It lay still in the dust, waiting for the moment it was needed. The next morning, Cole found her near the range. He stood awkwardly, searching for words. I froze, he admitted. She studied him for a moment. You survived. That's not weakness, that's human. He nodded slowly, something steady returning to his posture. In the days that followed, no one questioned her presence again, not because she demanded respect, but because she had earned trust when it mattered most, and trust, once forged under fire, doesn't fade easily. Bravery isn't about being fearless, it's about acting when fear would be easier. In the vast silence after the storm, character is what echoes longest. If this story stayed with you, let me know your thoughts below and subscribe to Cinematic Whispers for more powerful stories that remind us what true strength really looks like.